And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, John the Punk Thompson.
100% agree.
And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
There's nothing better than being live when you are the Weighing In podcast. We are ready to go. My man has been just chomping at the bit saying, why are we not on? Why are we not? We are on. We are live. We are ready to go. Get rid of that fucking look. You look like a dipshit every time you close your mouth like that. God damn. That is pathetic. What are you trying? Are you auditioning to be next
Zoolander?
Next to P.
Zoolander.
Diddy?
No. Oh, wow. No Diddy bug. No Diddy. Hashtag
anybody
no Diddy.
Is going after P. Diddy.
No. We're not doing
Oh,
the Diddy
yeah.
thing.
You want to be a part of the freakouts.
Woo, no, thank you, man. I'll
All kinds
pass
of
on
things
that.
happening, man.
No. I'll keep my cinnamon roll nice and tight. No, thank you. Oh, man. All right, guys. Hey, well, before we get started, man, this show is brought to you by BetUS, man. Thanks for supporting us through all this. And, man, check them out for the best betting odds in the game, man, at BetUS. And also, too, we have joined and we have continued our partnership with OnlyFans. Subscribe to us over there. I've dropped a bunch of new content over there just today. Some old training stuff, some back behind the scenes content, some photos and stuff for you guys back in the day. So go ahead and check that out over OnlyFans. It is free to subscribe to us over there, and I'm offering some stuff over there for free as well. So yeah, check it out, man. Let's go ahead and get started, man. Hey, so John, I didn't see how you did on your picks this week. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but I know it wasn't good for BetUS.
It was just as bad as yours.
No, John. I think when we finally settle up, I went okay. We only had 4 picks this week.
You went okay.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
We both only had 4 picks this week.
Okay, and
I didn't.
Well, hold on. I had the Buffalo Bills on my thing.
Yeah, but that was a guarantee. I mean,
okay.
They won by 40. they were up by 32 at half. It was bad.
You won with the Ravens.
Yep,
you
I
lost
did.
with everything else.
Did I?
Yeah. So it's like, what are you talking about? Oh, it's a horrible week.
Well, I was still beating you by 3 I think, anyways, for the season so far. We're only on week 4 though. We just got done with week 3. We got a long ways to go, John.
Horrible season so far.
Well, John, before we started this whole thing in this challenge of you and I going against each other the whole time, man, you were telling me how good you were at picks.
You lying son of a bitch.
You are horrible at picks.
I have not followed the NFL for years because I got fed up with them. So all I do is pick fights, and I'm good at that.
Are you good at that? Are you good at that? We'll see. Maybe we should do a little challenge on that.
We can do that.
Yeah, that's easy money for me.
Oh,
easy money.
Easy money.
I'm sorry, man. I'm so used to winning these days. That's why I got this little jaw when I'm looking.
You just lost.
Just won. I'm always winning, John.
I'm always
winning, John. I'm always winning. Hey guys, if you guys haven't checked out our interviews that we did this week, we dropped Kenny Florian this morning. Check that one out, man. It's awesome. Ken Flo is an amazing person. All the way back to the Ultimate Fighter 1. And we're probably going to end up having our boy on too, Bobby Southworth, who Ken Flo was talking about. Probably get him on here shortly in the next couple weeks. Hopefully that work pans out. But man, we're just going to keep talking to whoever we can get on the show. Reached out to a couple other people. We also have Greg Jackson on tomorrow, which will probably drop sometime early next week. That's going to be a great interview. I can't wait to talk to Greg.
He's awesome.
He's awesome, man. He's a great
Yoda,
person.
Baby.
But man, we had Jens Pulver drop yesterday, and then we got Ken Flo today.
Jens was fantastic.
Jens was awesome, man. Yeah. Awesome. I love that when you read the comments, right? Or when I read the comments, because I know John doesn't. there was one guy, like, no one cares about all these old guys. Like, what are you doing? The podcast no one asked for. Come on, give us the new stuff. And I'm like, I was just like, go ahead. I said, just go away. Like, that's all.
There you go.
Just go away. Yeah. So, but anyways, Dave, what else? What do you got for us, man? Like, there's the shows right there. Ken Flo, Jens. We had Dean Thomas on back last week.
Great.
Sean Brady was on. Man, we've had some good. John Anik was on. Man, we've had some good interviews these last couple of weeks.
Fucking on top of it.
John, we're fucking really good at this.
So you can tell that person that's had that ridiculous comment.
Oh, Kamar Usman. We had him on too.
Just tell the person that had the ridiculous comment, just say, go listen to somebody else.
You know,
no one wants you.
Dean's good friends with Aljamain Sterling. And I know I rubbed Aljo the wrong way, but I'm pleading, Aljo, man. Let's make amends. I got a lot of love for you, brother. But I
just got time now. He pulled out of the fight.
I'd love to hash it out with you, man.
You got hurt.
And then we had Tim Welsh on. We're gonna drop that show next week, and then we talked a lot about Sugar Sean and what's next for him and in the future. For him in the bantamweight division, that was great, and looking forward to dropping that show. That was fun, man.
That was.
So that's good. But looking forward to getting some more interviews, getting done with some more interviews on here. And hey, Dave, if you have any questions from the fans, why don't we hit off with a question or two? If you guys are in the fans, hey, make sure you guys subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. We offer a $4.99 membership as well as a $1.99 membership. The $1.99 one gets you a little asterisk or whatever next to your name. So when Dave sees you in the comment section for the super chats, you guys can get your questions answered. The $4.99, we do giveaways. Once a month, we're going to try to do a giveaway. We had one already for this month.
Alex, but you do have to answer a question. You have to answer a question.
Alex, he wants us to call him Alex. Is Alejandro.
Alejandro.
But he's a great guy, man. He's always chatting me up in my DMs on Instagram, shooting it back and forth. Anyways, hit us up and make sure you guys subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. What else you got? Dave, what do you want to talk about first?
Let's get into the fights coming up this weekend, and we can preview starting at the main event. Renato Carneiro versus Benoit Saint-Denis.
Moicano versus Benoit Saint-Denis.
You know what Moicano means in Portuguese?
Problem child?
Mohawk.
Oh, that's it?
He used to have a mohawk, and so now it's like, I heard the guy asking me, how come you don't do a mohawk? He says, I got no hair now.
Yeah, well, not only that, but like you just kind of grow out of it. I used to dye my hair all the time.
No. There's this guy named Liddell. He never grew out of it.
Yeah, well, he's got a tattoo underneath it though, and so
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know, but it makes it kind of
Mr. T.
I don't know,
Mr. T. He sported the mohawk too.
You know what's funny is, let me ask you this: they say that whenever somebody was in their most popular phase in their life, that's the way that they continue to dress the rest of their life. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. But I don't know if it's true.
I mean, like people that were like at their most popular phase throughout their life, like that's remember the faux hawks where people had their hair dyed and it was like kind of long in the middle. I had one for a while. They said that your most popular phase.
Thank God you weren't popular then.
I was never popular. I was never. So, but no, I mean, I've seen people that are still living in the Affliction jeans, with the rubies.
Yeah.
Affliction makes some nice jeans without the rubies though. They're like, I don't understand. Like
anytime you're putting jewelry on the pants, not a good idea.
But John, they came out with some really nice jeans after the ruby thing. And I still have them today, man, because they fit perfect. They're awesome, man. I love them. But then I heard now that there's some kids that are kind of trying to bring back the Affliction shirts.
Oh yeah,
because Trevor Prangley hit me up and he goes, my kids. He's like, if you have any old Affliction shirts, can you please send them to me? And I just started cracking up. I was like, yeah, I got to go through like my boxes because I've got boxes of stuff still in wrappers and stuff, still wrapped up and stuff. So I got to maybe see if I can find them something to send them off some stuff. But yeah, the old school days, man, it's gonna come full circle. You know the deal.
Oh, dude, I've got a.
You lived through like 7 or 8 of these full circles.
Thank you. I was building my house, and so finally moved my wife into the house. So then she wants stuff out of. I have a Connex box that has all of our old stuff. Start moving stuff, and I pull open this one thing, and it's got all these old T-shirts from my gym and stuff. And I actually found one that fits my grandson. Little tiny one, man. I was like, there you go, boom, put that on.
I never asked you this. What was the name of your gym?
It was called the Ultimate Training Academy. Big John McCarthy. It was called BJ Muda. That's what we called it.
God, it makes sense.
Big John McCarthy's Ultimate Training Academy.
Got it.
That's why
kind of a long-winded name, though.
Oh yeah, trust me. I did not want to name it that at all.
Your wife talked you into it.
I lost.
Yeah.
Again.
John, for all the people that are listening,
again,
John needs to explain to you guys this whole this whole 2% thing. 98 2.
98 yeah.
98 too, man.
Dave lives by it now.
Listen,
98 2.
Hey, it works. I'm telling you, man.
It's pinned at the top of the weighing in Instagram for good quick reference.
There you go.
Yeah.
Man,
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's got like 500,000 views on it on Instagram.
See,
Shut
brilliant.
up. Really? The 98
Brilliant.
2?
Yeah. I'm gonna show you right now.
What?
That's awesome. I love it.
Here on the
Wow.
Look, I have told that to a number of big time people, and they're like, "Are you kidding me?" I go, "No, swear to God, man, it works." And then I've had them come back and they go, "I'll be goddamn, it does work." And it takes all the stress away.
It's unpinned.
Oh,
Now you gotta find it. Who unpinned it?
Oh, I'm coming for him.
coming for him,
He's like, I'm married now. I need this for reference every time I log on.
dude.
Here it is, 98 Turo. I'm just trying to see how many views it's got. It's quite far down. I saw it on the thing.
So you want me to explain the 98-2 rule to all the newbies?
Yeah, explain the 98 2
Okay, the 98-2 rule is this.
Husband or wife?
If you are,
Go ahead,
look, let's just be honest. This is the husband with the wife.
with the
'Cause
2%.
it's the only way it works is
Yeah.
98% of the time, my wife gets whatever she wants, however she wants it, in any fashion she wants it. I don't sit there and say, no, you want to go buy that, go buy that. You want to go here, okay, we'll go there. 98% of the time, she gets exactly the way she wants it. There's the 2%, and the 2% is when she says something that I look at her and go, no, that ain't fucking happening. And she knows at that point, okay, I'm not going to sit there and bitch about it. I'm not going to sit there and try to talk him into it. She'll look at me. She'll go, is that your 2%? Abso-fucking-lutely. That is my 2%. And she knows, okay, it's over.
Yeah.
And it keeps you from fighting, man. It keeps all the fucking arguments away and everything. And look, it's easy for you because we normally give them everything that they want anyways. Everyone looks and goes, well, that's not fair. Trust me, it'll work out for you. And when it comes to that 2%, I honestly, man, you don't even use the 2%. It becomes a 1%. But when you get that one thing that they want to go to, or that one thing that they want to do, or something they want to buy, and you look at them and go, no.
No, my problem is the 2%. My problem is it's the 1% that they constantly buy that adds up to so much that I can't just get rid of one thing. I want to get rid of so many things.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna show you. It's pinned at the top now, and
Okay.
it's got 530,000 views.
There you go.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
The 98-2. That's the 98-2.
98-2 rule.
That's a good
Works.
rule, man.
It is a good rule. It works. Look,
There's another one. There's another one that works as well.
what's that?
Who's stronger?
That one doesn't work. It
man.
should work. It should work.
Explain that to the police officer when he comes to arrest you.
Exactly.
It's like, we'll see if you're stronger than the 3 cops putting you in handcuffs, buddy.
Oh man.
Oh man. But hey, we got off track, man. Moicano versus Benoit Saint Denis. This to me is probably going to be, I think, has the potential to be fight of the year, like a fight of the year type candidate, because Moicano he's a dog on the feet. I still have questions about his chin a little bit.
It's not the same, but it's
Saint
better. It's better at 155.
It's absolutely better at 155 than it was at 145. But I also look at Saint Denis, like, even though he's coming off that loss to Dustin Poirier, like, he still has, I mean, he's still damn good everywhere. Like, don't think because he lost to Dustin, I don't think that's going to affect his confidence whatsoever. We saw the beating he took when he came into the UFC, and then he racked off a bunch of wins, got to Dustin, was basically going to be next in line for a title shot had he beat Dustin, and wasn't able to get the job done. That being said, having to fight Moicano's chin can be tested, has been tested, and he could end up having success just in the stand-up if he can stuff Moicano's takedowns. Where Moicano to me is, he's still, even though he is used to be a 45-pounder, he's still pretty big for the weight. He's tall, long, lanky, long limbs, and fantastic jiu-jitsu. If this fight does hit the ground, I could see Moicano dominating the grappling position. Now everyone's like, oh, Saint Denis, he can grapple. I know he can grapple. I just don't think that he can grapple at the level of Moicano. It'll be close, but I'm going to give the edge to Moicano, just like I'm going to give the edge to Saint Denis on the feet.
I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong. I look at it as
I'm not wrong.
Look at the power. The power goes to Saint Denis.
Absolutely.
In the stand-up, he's the guy that can one-punch shot and walk away from this with a win. Moicano is the slicker technician when it comes to being on the feet. He has got very good Muay Thai, which he has now altered into a mixed martial arts style that's working well for him. He cannot end up underneath Saint Denis.
No.
He will not do well. His jiu-jitsu is good. I'm not saying it's not. He's a top player. He's not that guy that's coming off of his back with all these incredible submissions and things like that. It's just not the way he plays it. So he's got to be very careful, because I'm going to be honest. I look at, and it's weird that I say it, but out of France, Saint Denis is the better wrestler. He's actually got good takedowns. He's strong. He's physically strong. So this is going to be a bit of the Matador versus the Bull, in my opinion. If the Matador can, sit there and olay all the big shots that Saint Denis is going to come after him with, he's going to win the fight. But if he can't, then Saint Denis is going to end up walking away as the winner.
I guess I want to take this one step further on this whole situation, though.
Go ahead.
Is when I take it one step further, is if Moicano wins, does he take the Paddy Pimblett fight?
I'm being honest. I'm honestly thinking Paddy Pimblett, and as you talked about before, Paddy Pimblett and Conor McGregor, I think is going to be the one. I don't think they're going to let Paddy fight Moicano if he wins. I think that they're going to wait till 2025, and that would be the fight that they would put with Conor.
It's the only fight that makes sense to me.
But the question is, what weight would it be at? Because Paddy's been a 155-pound fighter. He does balloon up. He does get big, but he always comes down to 155. Conor is bigger now. Will he be able to make 155?
That's a huge fight, John. Huge.
It is. And it's a great fight. If you're the UFC, you're looking saying, man, this is a moneymaker for us.
Absolutely. But then if you look at Saint Denis, where does he go from there? If he gets a win, Benoit is number 12. If he gets a win over Moicano, that only brings him up to number 11. But who next? Maybe him and like Fiziev, when Fiziev's ready to come back.
He's ready to go. Jalen Turner.
I'd like to maybe see a Dariush fight.
Dariush would not be a bad choice. I mean, there's all kinds of fights for him. He's got so many, people out there that he could match up with, he could do well with, that makes sense as a fight. I don't think there's nothing that's standing in the way of him fighting basically anyone in the top 10.
Yeah. Well, John, I mean, look, if we're going to go off of the Bet US odds, right? Because these odds are brought to you by Bet US. Look, Benoit Saint Denis is a minus 265.
Oh!
He's got the 2.5 on the over at plus 140. So they're thinking this fight's going to be under. They're thinking it's going to be under 2.5 because it's a minus 170 on the under. Moicano is a plus 215. I'm not going to lie. I know that Moicano can win this fight.
Sure he can.
I've just seen that Saint Denis, the way he fought Dustin, and I know it was a short-lived fight. He had some success in that early fight, in that early part. But anyone can have success in the first round of a fight, John.
You're absolutely right. And it's one of those things you look at, you go, what did he learn from that fight? Because there were moments where you're saying he was being successful and he had success against Dustin. He had Dustin in trouble in certain moments, but he made mistakes. And those mistakes led to Dustin coming back and putting him away in the fight. So what did he learn from those? And that's really going to be, if he made himself a better fighter off of fighting Dustin Poirier, which I think he will, that's why the odds are where they're at. And like I said, this is the Matador versus the Bull. The Bull is tough to beat, especially when the Bull is fighting in Paris. This is a hometown fight for Benoit Saint Denis. It is a long ways from Florida for Moicano.
I think Moicano, he can stay with him on the feet. He's just got to make sure that he's not standing there directly right in front of him. Yeah, he's got to be elusive, and he's got to always be threatening the takedown.
But he cannot sit there and admire his work.
He can't afford to
be
do that.
Smart about going in, do your damage, get out, and reset.
What I've learned from Saint Denis is that no matter what you do to him, he's going to continue to try to fight back. He will still be in this fight in round 3. Will Moicano be there as well? I think since going up to 155, Moicano's been a way better fighter than he was at 145. but can he withstand the power of Benoit Saint-Denis? That's going to be the question. At minus 265 for Benoit Saint-Denis, it's a little too stiff for my blood, but I'm going to say we've had this conversation. Moicano has a good chance of winning this fight, and at plus 215, that's not too thick for my blood. You throw 100 down on that, I might take it because I believe he can win by submission, or he can win by ground and pound, keeping this fight on the feet, or keeping this fight on the ground. If he can get it there, because like you said, Saint-Denis is probably the better wrestler.
Yeah, look at this is a great matchup. I'm really enjoying where the UFC's went with this fight. I think it's great that it's in Paris and stuff, because look at Saint-Denis is going to be a star for them there, and so it's good to put him in the main event. Let him headline that show and let everyone see their native son going to work. But he's got to get a win. But I do think he's going to get the win.
Agree. Dave, before we move on to the co-main event, do you have any fan questions in the middle of this?
No, nothing in the way of fan questions, but we did do a poll for this main event, and the fans are saying that Moicano's got this. 74% are saying Moicano's got this. He's going to win.
Wow.
What?
Well, do me a favor. Get those people's phone number because I want to do some bets with them.
Yeah, those people. I mean, look, the betting odds aren't normally wrong, and they've got guys that are researching this. So I'm looking at this. I do understand. I'm leaning towards Moicano when it comes to the betting numbers on who I think it will. I'm taking a chance because anytime you're taking a chance at plus 215 with Moicano over Saint-Denis, there's a chance that he can win. He can win on the feet by catching him. That's one. He can also win on the ground. Where Saint-Denis, I don't think can win on the ground if this thing hits the ground. If he rocks Moicano and jumps into his guard, he could end up putting himself in some trouble off of his. I know, I get what you're saying, John, but it's still there. There's still an option there, I think. So I don't think it'd be the other way around. If he rocks Saint-Denis and puts him down, he jumps on top. I think he controls the top position. He's able to either get a finish, get to the back, get to mount, any of those type of things. Yeah. We know that Saint-Denis is not a quitter, though. That's for sure. Go back and watch his first fight in the UFC. You'll realize he's not a quitter. He's a stud.
He's a dog.
Let's go ahead and move on to the co-main event, which is Brendan Allen versus Nasruddin Imavov.
Nasruddin Imavov against the guy who does not fight in casinos. Brendan Allen.
Right.
Oh, I love that one.
John, that video is recirculating today. If I don't know if you've seen it, it got republished around the internet today, knowing that he's coming up this weekend.
That's also because he's saying, I don't know who that guy was, but he was good looking.
He was good looking. I was literally standing maybe, I don't know, 4 feet away, 5 feet away when the whole thing happened.
That was great.
I was standing there going, oh my gosh, man, what is going on? But Vittori, I mean, he got hit with a 2-piece and a biscuit, man.
He did. So whoever that guy, that good looking guy was that was not Brendan Allen, that dude can fight.
We got to get him signed. Let's get him signed.
Exactly.
Whoever that guy is. He had long hair, pulled back, clean shaven. He was actually clean shaven that night.
Had little footprint tattoos. Oh, never mind.
But look, I think this is another great fight.
It is a great fight. What are the odds on this?
So the odds on this brought to you by BetUS. Brendan Allen is a plus 170, John.
See, now that's a bet I would take.
Imavov is a minus 210. The over on it is minus 145 at 2.5. And the under is plus 115 at 2.5.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go the distance.
I think this is going to go. It's going to go for a while. Like, Imavov is too good, too talented in the stand-up. His wrestling's too good. But Brendan Allen has been just looking good. He's been on fire. He's got the win against Chris Curtis after having a loss to him. It was a good fight for both, but Brendan in the stand-up has been looking better and better, and we know his ground game is damn good. Yeah. And I honestly think if he gets the fight to the ground, Imavov will have a problem. Now, I'm not sure he can get Imavov to the ground unless he gets him tired. And the one thing that I'll give Imavov that he used to have a problem with cardio as far as if you pushed him, he wasn't able to get that breath in there. He's now learning how to relax in the fight, when to take a moment to grab some air and then come back and go to work. And so, he's in that position. Being in France, obviously he's going to feel very comfortable there. But Brendan Allen, this is a fight for him to win, in my opinion. And being the underdog, I would take Brendan Allen.
Yeah, John, I feel the same way. I think right now, look, when guys are literally out there fighting in the streets, they're walking around a little bit of extra swagger in them. They're look, I believe in everything I'm doing right now. Like, you test me, you're going to find out. He's got that little extra chip on his shoulder. Imavov has been looking really good as well. But I feel like Brendan Allen right now, I think people have always overlooked him.
I mean, as I recall, I want to say Imavov is on a 2-fight win streak right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Brendan Allen's about on an 8-fight win streak, maybe 7. I mean, he has been lighting it up. And like you said, confidence to fight in casinos, confidence to fight in someone's backyard, doesn't matter. He's got it right now, and he's believing in himself, and he believes in what his trainers are telling him, and he's been looking great. So
yeah, he's out there picking some fights. I mean, when you believe in yourself and what's going on, man, like you don't care what people say. You're like, look, I'm going to prove you wrong. I mean, look, him and Vittoria, they got into it at the casino, but the bottom line is if he beats Imavov, he's going to jump Vittori. He doesn't need to go back. But I could see that fight maybe potentially coming to fruition because there's a little bit of bad blood. But I mean, look, Imavov being ranked number 4, I look at Brendan Allen, I'm thinking to myself, he needs to just go out there, fight with confidence. Don't let Imavov stick and move and stay on and keep on the back foot and keep his back off the fence. You're either going to have to push him to the point where he makes a mistake. You can catch him when his back hits the fence with shots, or you can even try to get that takedown. Because I think that he is the better grappler if he can get on top. Brendan Allen is.
I'm not sure he's the better wrestler.
I agree with you on that. He may not be the better wrestler, but I think he is the better grappler.
Yeah.
On the feet, though, I think Imavov is going to be very elusive. He's going to be very hard to hit. You're going to have to catch him. So your combinations are going to have to be different than just a traditional 1-2 right hand, left hook. He's going to have to come up with like little uppercuts, kind of the jab uppercuts, little things that kind of maybe throw the jab and then the head kick right behind it. He's going to have to hide things behind his boxing, or he's going to have to hide his kicks behind his boxing, or hide his hands behind his kicks. He's going to have to do something tricky in those mixes, because I think Imavov is so used to just the traditional style of stand-up guys coming after him, chasing him, walking him down. I mean, I believe who was his last loss to? Was it to Strickland? Imavov. Who did he lose to?
I believe his last loss was to Strickland.
I think it was too.
No. Oh, last loss. Sorry.
Yeah, his last loss.
He got a no contest with Curtis.
Yeah. So I mean, but yeah. Anyways, I think he's got. I think he's.
Was that a clash of heads or eye poke or what was it?
Clash of heads.
Yeah. But I think overall this has a matchup to be a very good fight, unless it becomes a one-sided fight, which as of recently, Imavov has been making things look a lot easier.
He's looked great in his last couple of fights.
Yeah, he's looked fantastic. So he's on a roll. I know Brendan Allen's on a roll. I think this makes up for a very good fight.
Yeah.
Next fight.
William Gomez against Joe Anderson Brito. This is actually a fun fight in the featherweight division. Gomez is one of those guys, stand-up wise, he's good. He's got a great stand-up. He attacks people. He's got power. But Joe Anderson Brito has also got good stand-up, and he's got a really good ground game too. So Gomez has got to keep himself from being underneath Brito. And you could, just looking at it, Brito is going to be trying to get the fight to the ground and be in the top position, because that's his way of keeping himself from being hurt, keeping himself safe, and doing damage.
Yeah, this is like a little bit of a traditional throwback fight from the early UFCs. You have a guy who, sure, he can stand, but it definitely doesn't favor him to be on the feet against Gomez. And Gomez is, look, just a sprawl and brawl, keep this thing on the feet, make him pay every time he tries to get the takedown, and don't let him get anything without making him pay. So anytime he shoots, circle my back off the fence. Don't just circle and get away. Make there be consequences for his actions. You want to keep shooting on me? I'm going to keep stuffing it. And every time you do, I'm going to hit you with the knee. I'm going to hit you with an uppercut. I'm going to hit you with something as I'm breaking out. Brito's just got to make sure that he doesn't expend too much energy once he does get a takedown, if he does. And he can't be hanging out there super tight against the fence trying to work in to get these takedowns. He's got to let it flow. The more you let these takedowns flow, the easier they come, and you got to catch them in transition. Punch your way in, go to the single, go to the body lock, whatever it is, drop back down on the double, flare it out. Whatever it is, you've got to make sure that you're mixing and chain wrestling to make it easier for yourself, because Gomez is athletic. He's explosive. You got to keep that guy either moving as you get into the legs, or you got to get him pressed against the fence so you can lift under the butt, scoop, or yank it out and get him on bottom. So
Yeah.
it's a stylistic matchup, obviously, but I think Brito could stand. He just can't be out there too long standing.
It's Brito is very well rounded. If you look at his record as far as knockouts and submissions are very close as far as the number when it comes to his wins, and so he can fight in more areas than Gomez as far as successfully. Gomez's his stand up is clean and it's fun to watch. So this is a really good matchup, one that's going to be interesting to see who wins this fight.
All right. Next fight.
Sorry, guys, I got it loading here.
It's all right.
Yeah.
All right, our next fight.
That Austin liberal Wi-Fi, huh?
Yeah. We got Brian Battle against Kevin Jusette, who we have seen a couple of times. 170 pounds. We saw him against Kiefer Crosby. We've seen him do very well. His stand-up, man, is good. It is strong. He hits hard. He is a very physically strong individual. But he's going against a guy that just doesn't seem to have problems with, fighting anybody in any style or anything like that. Brian Battle is just, after winning the Ultimate Fighter, he has just continued to be a good fighter.
Yeah. John, the thing with Jusette, though, is like I went back and was watching the film before he fought Kiefer Crosby. I was like, man, Kiefer should beat this guy.
Yeah.
And then he got in the cage and he just looked way better.
And he manhandled it.
He just dominated the position. I was like, what is going on? Like, he doesn't look technically sound, but everything he does seems to work. And people have a hard time dealing with either the knees or the striking, or it's something about him that makes it difficult for people to deal with him.
Well, he's a big 172.
I think that's probably some of it as well.
Yeah.
I just couldn't tell if he was a big 170 or if Kiefer's a small 70, because Kiefer's not a big 70 pounder.
No.
He's a big 55 pounder, but he very rarely makes the weight.
Yep.
But Brian Battle is very similar to a Jusette, not in terms of the way they fight, but in terms of he's just very awkward. He poses problems for people everywhere. He's a little careless on the feet, but aggressive. And then he's also very aggressive when it comes to the wrestling, the grappling, the intensity, the pressure, all of those things. That he can grit through a lot to get wins. Those are the kind of, a fight that I'd love to see is him and Kieran Clark, even though Kieran's a lot smaller. But I'm saying,
God, I was going to say, what are you
I get it.
Talking about?
I get it. But Kieran Clark, though, is like that
featherweight,
guy.
Featherweight compared to welterweight.
I know, but the tenacity, the aggressiveness, like the ones that are, you never count them out until the last bell rings. Kieran Clark reminds me of like a Brian Battle. Just like they're always trying to get the finish. They're always trying to get after you. They're just constantly chasing after, just being aggressive. It just reminds me of him a little bit. I think Battle, though, is going to have a little bit of the upper hand. I think I'm going to find out more once they get in the cage and to see, because like you said, Jusette is very big. Big for the weight, long, like the knees up the middle. Those are going to pose some problems for Brian Battle. And I won't know until you get them in there against each other.
Well, Battle's last fight was against Ang Lusa, and he was lighting Lusa up. Now, it ended up in a no contest, but it was, let's just be honest, Brian Battle was putting it on him.
Yeah.
And he's looked great. And you got to figure the only loss he has in the UFC is against Renat. Ferendinkov, and it's like, man, this guy can actually, I know a lot of people have not given him credit for being as good as he is. He can fight.
No, he can.
And he's good. And I honestly think that if Jusette does not establish a strong stand-up that has Battle moving backwards, he's going to have problems with him.
What it is, John, with guys like Brian Battle, they don't get the love or the respect because they don't, I don't want to say it's like a Keith Jardine. They don't look like they do anything great, but they do everything that gives people problems.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like they technically don't look good. You're like, you don't look very good. Like, you're not a great wrestler. You're not making it look smooth and beautiful. Yeah. And people new fans,
wrestling works.
Yeah. But the new fans have gotten so spoiled with watching guys like Bo Nickel and DC and, like they've gotten spoiled with that Olympic style Henry Cejudo type wrestling where they just make it look easy. Oh, you're not going to get that from everyone, like all of a sudden, like, oh, the guy looks like Anderson Silva and John Jones out there sticking and moving. And then you see someone like Brian Battle, you're like, yeah, he's not that good. But then
he's really good.
You look at guys like Dricus Duplessis. He looks horrible.
But he wins.
He wins. That's all that matters. He wins. And so Brian Battle's one of those guys, man. He digs deep. He finds ways to win. And there's got to be something about him when you get in there that makes him very difficult to deal with, whether it's hip pressure, whether it's just the aggressiveness, whatever it is. But those guys are sometimes the hardest guys to fight.
Yeah.
John, any other fights on here you want to talk about?
You know what? There's a couple of good fights on here that are, on. I want to say the Ludwig Klein versus Roosevelt Roberts is going to be a good fight. Ludwig Klein is good. He's fun to watch. He's aggressive. He goes after people. Roosevelt is, man, he's either on or off is the only thing. But, man, when this kid's on, his length, you talk about tall, long, and lanky, having good power, having the ability to, be on the ground. He's got it all. It's just up here he's got to believe. Yeah. And that's really the big question. But I actually think that's going to be a fun fight.
All right, scroll down a little bit there, John. Or not John, but Dave, so I can see what the other ones are. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. Okay, cool. That's going to wrap up our UFC talk. But Dave, what else you got for us, buddy?
We'll do a quick super chat after OnlyFans here.
Okay. All right, hey guys. He's like, we'll do a quick super chat after OnlyFans here. Hey man, I want to thank you guys. Look, like I said, we've decided to continue our partnership with OnlyFans. So join us on over there, guys. And extra content, man. I don't want to drag this out too long because look, we've been on there for a couple of years now. We're enjoying being on there. So head on over there. There's an opportunity for you guys to chat with us a little bit more in person, and we'll be on that stage a little bit more. So head on over there and join us over there. It is free. You don't have to worry about paying a little extra. Right now, we're just trying to get more subscribers over there. We're at about 800 over there, I believe, right now. So join on over there, and it's going to be fun. We'll have some extra content there. What you got?
Yeah, JN asks, off topic, sorry, but Josh, can you rank these guys in terms of talent? Usman, Umar, Islam, Khabib, Zabit, and Artem. Great show.
Okay, Artem is at the end.
Yeah.
Artem Lobov will be at the end. Last. Give me the names again. You got Umar,
Islam, Usman.
Okay, so is it Umar Nurmagomedov or
yes,
Kamar?
Yeah,
Umar.
No,
okay, so
Umar,
sorry, not Umar. Islam,
Khabib, Zabit, and Usman.
Ooh, Zabit. Okay, let me see. And Usman. Okay. In terms of talent,
can you rank these guys in terms of talent?
Yeah, in terms of talent,
go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Usman.
Yep,
probably is number one. I'm gonna go with geez, man, I've just seen him grow so much now. I would say it's gonna be either Umar or Islam next.
Yep.
I'm gonna probably go with Umar, number two. Only because I haven't seen the full potential yet. I haven't seen it fully. But Usman number one, Umar number two.
Islam.
Yeah, I would say Islam probably number three. And I would probably go Zabit in terms of talent. Yeah. The only thing is we didn't get a big enough. I didn't get a big enough sample size out of him. That's what scares me.
It's the problem, but you did get a sample of, man, he's talented, and he does all. He did everything that basically Umar and Usman are doing now. He was doing a lot of spinning techniques, good wrestling, all the different things. He just couldn't stay healthy enough based upon, I think, honestly, his build and how much weight he was losing and everything. It was hard for him to stay healthy, but that dude was talented.
Yeah, I get he was talented, John, but then I also too look at what was his fight with who was the boxer he fought? Jeez, come on, man. Who was his last fight, Dave? Can you look it up? Zabit's guy. He was the boxer. He fought.
You're talking about
Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Calvin Kattar.
Calvin Kattar.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he struggled in that fight.
Yeah, he did.
And talent or not, he still struggled in that fight. I haven't seen Usman or Umar struggle. I know Umar got dropped in one of his fights, like the first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But outside of that, though, he came back and dominated.
Anyone can get touched.
Absolutely. Zabit's literally struggled against someone who's not a wrestler. Somebody, and I know he looked good in portions of it because he dominated the first portion of it, but then he started struggling a little bit as he got tired, as he got winded, as he started like trying to do too much. Now the talent is there, but I didn't get a big enough sample size to say any further. And I'm a big fan of Zabit. I just didn't see enough against top level talent. And I would probably say the same thing about Umar, because I just finally saw him fight top level talent and he looked fantastic. And that's why that's why I would put him at number 2. Usman, I've seen now recently was against Shabli. That's the toughest talent he's had to fight. And I think his next fight will be probably even tougher than the Shabli fight, because if AJ McKee wins, it'll be AJ McKee. And so if that fight happens, I mean, that's going to give us a real idea of how damn good Usman is. And we're going to see exactly how damn good AJ McKee is, because now you have 2 of the best lightweights in the world potentially going to fight. I mean, I know AJ's got his hands full coming up, but I'm looking at Usman talent wise. I see what he can do in the gym. I know his abilities. Umar number 2, Islam number 3. I'm going to hold off and say Zabit number 5, but I'm going to put Khabib ahead of that only because I've seen the talent and I've felt the pressure. So I know exactly, but he was super talented. He was talented at the one thing that he does, and that's just dominate people.
Yeah.
I mean,
but if you look at his striking ability, it got better and better and better, but it never has reached the level of what you see in Umar or an Usman doing,
or Islam.
Islam.
Yeah.
It was never there. His grappling is above it, no doubt about it. And it's when you sit there and you say talent wise, you can put those other guys ahead of Khabib. You say fight, who's going to win in the fight? Well, guess what? Go back to the top.
If I have to say who's going to win in the fight and who's going to win in dominant fashion, I would say it's going to start off with Khabib. I get it. I understand. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to go through Usman number 1, Umar number 2, Islam number 3. I'm going to go Khabib number 4, and then I'm going to go Zabit last, only because I didn't see top talent in terms of the biggest sample size. And he struggled against Calvin Kattar, which was like shouldn't have been on his level given all of his tools that he has. So that's it. But yeah, I think Artem Lobov, I didn't even really put in the conversation.
What was it? Is that the Artem they were?
Is that the Artem he was talking about?
I mean, it has to be, right?
I guess. That's
He only put Artem the GOAT. He wrote separately in a separate.
Oh, the GOAT. Yeah, that means Artem Lobov. People were calling Artem Lobov the GOAT for a bit. I don't know.
Maybe that was a joke entry.
Oh, maybe it was. Thanks for the question, though. Hopefully I got that answered for you. I know it was a little long-winded. Let's go ahead and jump right into the next one. What is it there, Dave?
Yeah, we got the boxing fight from the weekend. You guys got comments on that?
Oh, Anthony Joshua taking on Triple D, Daniel Dynamite Dubois. My God.
Ds. We love
What's
Triple
that?
Ds. We all like
everyone
Triple
likes
Ds.
Triple Ds. Dude, I was
And no, we're not talking about Diddy.
I was amazed by Daniel Dubois. And we watched Daniel Dubois when he fought like Alexander Usyk, and he had moments in that where it was good, but then Usyk took over in the fight. And going into this fight, I was like, I just don't see him being able to handle the range and length of AJ. It's going to be a good fight, but I think AJ takes the rounds. Man, was I wrong on that one, because he hit AJ with straight. You were just talking about, you can't use basic 1-2s. That's all he did.
Yeah.
Over and over and over, and it worked. He hit AJ with huge right hands. The first right hand he hit him with, I was shocked AJ didn't go down. I mean, it was a bomb, and I was like, holy shit, he got blasted. And then he went down later in the round. And then the second round, he didn't go down. Third round, he went down. Fourth round, he went down. Fifth round is all over. But if you watch, there's one thing that happens in this fight, and AJ makes the same mistake multiple times. He made the mistake in the second round. Nothing happened to him for it. He made this mistake twice in the fourth round of a lead uppercut. And finally in the fifth round, when he actually hurt Dubois and had him in trouble, and he goes for that lead uppercut, and Dubois did exactly what he's supposed to, counters with a straight right hand right away, because it's a much shorter shot. It takes less time to get there, and it's what put AJ out. And I'll tell you what, Dubois looked great. AJ was coming back, and he was being a little bit cocky, in some of the things, but it was like, okay, he's coming back, and he hurt him. But man, what a fight by Daniel Dubois.
I think his confidence has been up because of his last couple of performances. And Anthony Joshua's, he had every right to be confident. Sometimes reading your own paper clippings though can be your biggest downfall. Started believing that, like, because what I saw in that fight was every time he landed a clean shot against Dubois, he believed in it even more and just came forward. And every time he got dropped, he got back up like, it's okay, I'm going to get it back. And he kept coming forward, which is good. But you can't come forward carelessly. Yeah, you can't come forward carelessly. And John, it's funny because people were like, people were telling me, not just people, I was reading some of the journalists, quotation marks, say basically, oh, this is going to be his coming out party, that Anthony Joshua hasn't been getting any respect. Someone's got to put some respect on his name. He's underappreciated. I've heard these journalists say this. It has nothing to do with his talent.
No, it's
and if you all know what I'm talking about, it has nothing to do with his talent. His talent is there. No one's ever questioned his talent. It's not his talent that's getting him in trouble. It's his chin.
Yeah.
And it's an unfortunate thing because his chin can't handle heavyweight shots. And that's the only thing.
Ones. Yeah.
Not clean ones. And until he gets a little bit better with his defense. Now, he can look good against Francis Ngannou, who is not a boxer. And everyone keeps saying he's a boxer. Sure, he did great against Tyson Fury. Okay, but then he came out and didn't look good at all against Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua made him look amateurish. And I'm not trying to knock Francis, but that's not his sport. Let's just be honest. That's not his sport. He's a world champ in MMA. If you were to put him and Anthony Joshua in an MMA fight, he would walk through Anthony Joshua. It'd be no problem. Now, in this fight here, Anthony Joshua, just like I said, it's not the talent. It's not, and people are not underappreciating him. I respect him a ton. Anthony Joshua's a stud, gifted, built like a Greek god, speed, power, movement. He's good, but it's not that's affected him. It's the chin. There's nothing you can do about that. Once it starts to go, it starts to go. And he got dropped multiple times. And so
he got dropped more than the referee gave credit for.
Yeah,
his hands hit the ground, and the referee doesn't. That referee was horrible.
But even if he keeps getting back up, John, every time he got back up, he kept trying to come forward. He kept trying to make the fight happen. He was like, look, I'm going to eventually break you. I'm going to eventually break you. He believed in himself.
Yeah.
It just, you've got to, every time you get dropped, it takes a little bit of your power line, like out of a video game. And as that happens, you start realizing that you can't keep taking these shots. Even if they graze you, they start hurting you. If you get hit to the body and you touch my elbow and it touches my rib or my, it hurts. It starts making me feel like, oh, I got the wind knocked out of me again. That's what we saw. He kept thinking, okay, I got back up. I'm cool. Well, that adds one more notch of power going down. Then he got back up and got hit again. More power going down. By the end, he was face down, ass up. There was nothing he could do. He couldn't get himself back to his feet. And it sucks because he's the guy that everyone looked at after the Klitschko situation and just the growth. And then he lost to Andy Ruiz. I was like, it was a fluke. It was this, it was that.
No, it wasn't a fluke.
No, it wasn't a fluke. Andy was able to outwork him and caught him, and put him down. But that's when you knew. That's when I knew. Andy Ruiz is not known for having a lot of power.
No.
And when he sat him down, I'm like, is this the beginning of the end? And that's what we've seen since then. But I guess the last thing I should say is this. Did any of you guys see Turkey?
Yeah.
And they panned the camera to him and he goes, cut it. He was pissed. That just cost him $100 million, whatever it was.
$150 million is what Tyson Fury said. He goes, I just lost $150 million. So that's like, ooh,
yeah,
that hurt. But this is why you fight the fight.
Absolutely.
It's like I honestly thought Anthony Joshua was going to win that fight. Not even close. That fight was all Daniel Dubois, and like I said, the referee, he needs to retire because first off, he's in Daniel Dubois' face about your head and everything and stuff. Then he allows a freaking when your hands hit the deck as a fighter, that's a knockdown. Okay, that's the rules. You can't just sit there and go, oh, get back up, and he's fighting. I'll just let it go. It's like, what are you doing? Then he goes, look at fighting has sign language, Josh. You know what it is. You know, when a referee goes like this, that's saying the fight's over.
Yeah.
So when Joshua goes down and that dumbass goes like this, you're telling everyone the fight's over. If it's a slip, your hands go down here. And I mean, who is fucking idiot?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this might be some of the problems they're going to have to encounter having world-class boxing over there.
Yeah.
They're going to have to make sure they're bringing in the right referees and the right judges and to make sure that it's still handled professionally. Because if I didn't get into it too much because I wasn't really paying attention to the ref because I was trying to see if Anthony Joshua would get up every time he got knocked down. So, all right, hey, but what else you got for us there, Dave?
All right, hey, this one came out while I was building the schedule earlier, so I'm gonna throw it in there because I actually think it's worth looking at. But Dustin put out a tweet earlier, kind of implying that he wants to get that trilogy fight with Justin Gaethje. What do you guys think about a trilogy fight between the two of them?
Do it. Look, they're both coming out again. This is the UFC's matchmaking system. Both guys are coming off a loss. Dustin has a loss to Islam in the championship fight. Gaethje has a loss to Max Holloway for the BMF title. That is an awesome trilogy fight. They both have a win. Both, put on great performances. The second one where Gaethje with the head kick was phenomenal. Abso-fucking-lutely put that fight together.
Well, I mean, you've heard from Dustin and him basically saying what most fighters are saying at this stage of their career. I need fights that motivate me. I need fights to get me up. But I'm sorry, but if you're not up for Justin Gaethje, you're going to get killed out there. So the fact that that Dustin's calling for the fight means that guy motivates him enough to say, you know what? Let's run this back. Let's do it a third time. Let's give the fans what they want. Right now, Dustin's at a stage in his career. He's like, I'm looking for the most exciting fight. I'm looking for the one that's going to get me paid the most.
Yeah. And
I'm looking for the ones that I know the fans are going to respect. They're not just saying, oh, he's just taking this fight as just like a tune-up, or he's taking this fight to kind of just make money. No. I've never looked at Dustin and been like, yeah, he wants the easy road. He's not that guy.
That's not
like, you look at his resume, you look at Max Holloway's resume, and even the short period, which it seems long, but Justin Gaethje's been there for a short period of time because he came over from the World Series of Fighting. But his resume too is fucking stacked. Justin Gaethje's is. And so you take those guys, those three guys, and you put their resumes up there. You're like, damn, you guys have fought the who's who.
Take a look at their resume. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And I guess I'll give it to Dustin just because he's been there longer. Dustin's got close to 30 fights, if not more than that in the UFC. But Dustin has fought. He fought Eddie Alvarez twice. He fought Conor McGregor 3 times. He fought
Max Holloway twice.
Fought Gaethje twice. Fought Max Holloway twice. Fought Islam. Fought fucking Habib. The fight he had with Dan Hooker. My God, what a fight that was, because he lost the first 2 rounds of that. I mean, the guys that he has been in there against. I mean, we talked about this before the Islam fight. Take a look. If you're going to look at, from a certain point, everybody he was fighting was either a champion or a former champion. We're talking top of the food chain. It's every guy that he was fighting. And it's just amazing. I think it was from the Dan Hooker fight. I could be wrong, but I mean, just crazy who that guy has been fighting. You can't ask anything more from a fighter than you get from Dustin Poirier.
No, one of the best fights, and I know it was a fight that he wasn't going his way in the beginning, was the Dan Hooker fight.
Oh,
that was a fight. That was a fight where I was like, man, is this the changing of the guard? You've got the young guy coming up. You've got the older guy who's been doing it for a long time. Is he still want this or not? And man, he just systematically just started taking the fight back in round 3. Nope, this is my round. Nope, round 4. Now we're on 5. Like, he just started picking it apart. I was like, holy shit. I don't have to question whether you want it anymore because I just saw everything I need to see. He damn sure wants it. And I think right now he's at that stage where it's got to be the people that motivate him the most. Justin Gaethje's obviously one of those guys. Definitely one of those guys.
I think it's absolute that the UFC should put them back together.
Absolutely. Hey, this episode brought to you by BetUS. Go to YouTube 150 for the best betting odds in the game, man. That's through us, guys. Go to YouTube 150 at BetUS. Use that promo code YouTube150. Dave, what else you got for us, buddy?
We got some PFL this weekend as well, so I wanted to give you guys a chance to talk about anything on here that you're interested in.
Stephen Ray in the PFL. Lewis Long. Lewis Long's tough, man.
He is great ground game.
Tough. He's
Great ground
tough.
game.
You know, Stephen Ray is jacked. Lewis Long is got
outstanding judo from Stevie Ray.
Yep.
You know, but I'm not sure that he's the better ground fighter as far as.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, take a look at those two. Lewis Long has had some freaking crazy fights.
He has,
and he's damn good. But Stevie Ray, same thing. You know, Stevie Ray's got 2 wins against Anthony Pettis, so he's been in there against some quality competition too.
Lewis Long had a fight. I think it was with Oliver Encamp that I called over in Ireland.
Oh yeah.
And it was just a scrap back and forth. Just boom, boom. I was like, holy cow, these two are getting after it on the ground. Yeah, I don't think Stephen Ray can hang with Lewis Long on the ground. I think he can, but I don't think he's going to. I don't think that he can win this fight if he continues to keep this fight on the ground. He's got to try to keep this thing on the feet. Lewis Long he's not the greatest on the feet, but he's good. He's good enough.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I'm trying to remember that fight with Lewis Long and Oliver Encamp. Because it was because Oliver Encamp's a hell of a good grappler too, but it was crazy as far as the positioning. But wasn't it Oliver Encamp that won that with a spinning back fist? Long was winning the fight. He was winning the fight, and he didn't see it. Bam! He got something. Yeah.
It's more like I think it was the forearm that caught him, right?
Yeah.
Dave, what other fights are on that card?
Robert Watford against we're bringing back old time fighters. Roger Huerta. I love Roger. He's a good person, man. He really is. He's been through a lot in his life and stuff, but this is a guy that is 24. Let's just say 24,
13-1.
Yeah, and at one time, Josh, I believe he was 21-1. What does that tell you? Yeah, it's not been, a good second half of the career for Roger. He's had a ton of losses.
And Robert Whiteford's not an easy fight.
No, he's tough as hell.
He's scrappy. This fight's at a catch weight at 150. Is it 150 or 160? 150. I think it says 150.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not, I don't know. Roger Huerta is in his last couple fights that I've seen. He just hasn't had that go factor. Like he doesn't have I'm going to fight through the tough time of it, And he was always that guy, the gritty guy. Remember the fight with him and Clay Guida? He was always that guy that would fight through the tough time. But he just hasn't had it as of recently. It's when things get a little bit tough in there. He's like, okay, I'm good.
The fight he had with Patricky Pitbull was outstanding. I mean, he was throwing bombs and he got hit with some bombs.
Yeah.
But, just wasn't able to make it through it. But you take a look at the last part of his career, there's not a whole lot of wins in there. He suffered a lot of losses. So,
Dave, scroll up a little bit on this so I can see the rest of the card. Keep going. Oh, is that the whole card?
Yeah.
So, John, I don't know any of these guys, John.
Oh, what are you talking about? You know a bunch of them. Daniel Scatizzi is in this. He's going up against Jake Kazuba. That's actually a very good fight. Kazuba is tough as hell. The Scatizzi is that guy.
Where are you seeing Scatizzi? I don't see him at all.
Really?
Are you seeing something I'm not seeing?
Is that a nickname?
It might have been pulled out. I thought right.
Oh, there it is, right there. It's number 6.
Oh no, sorry, that's Dave. His sister. That's his sister.
Oh, okay. Never mind. All I saw was Scatizzi.
Boom. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe they pulled him out.
Okay.
He's a good fighter. Scatizzi's a good fighter.
Yeah, he is. He's fun to watch. But his sister's a good fighter too. His sister went up against Dakota Ditcheva.
Okay.
In the finals of the PFL Europe for $100,000 and lost to Dakota in that fight. But she's a gamer. She'll go after it. So, but the girl she's fighting, Chanel Dyer, she's fun to watch. She's an explosive, mean, fast-handed, tough girl. She's fun to watch. That's going to be a good fight.
Okay. When is this? This is on Friday or Saturday night?
Saturday, I believe. Yeah,
Saturday too.
Yeah, but they're in Paris, so it'll probably be either early in the morning. What time? Oh, they're in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Okay, they're in Scotland. The UFC's in Paris.
Oh, okay. So they're in Scotland. Really? Damn, I wish we would have went to Scotland. My motherland. Go back over there. The motherland.
That's not your. It's definitely Dave's motherland.
Whatever, man. My name's got a longer history than his there.
Yeah. They fly the Mexican flag over there.
Now mine's almost like a Wallace. Like I might as well just be a William Wallace over there.
Oh, is that so? Your last name is
strong.
Tampa Wallace.
It's Thompson. It's Thompson. We're one of the original names over there. Threll Fall. Where did we get that fucking name? Huh? Where'd that fucking name come from? All right. What else you got for us, Dave?
All right. Let's move on from here. And actually, I want to look at this story right here. Hold on. I'm just going to change so everyone else can see what we're looking at. So Daniel Cormier comes out. He does this thing with Chael. He's talking. He's basically like coming up with like, how do you define like a great champion? What is a great championship reign? And he kind of goes through a spiel. I really want to get you guys' takes. I can almost predict that it's going to be different. And I'm curious to know, John, who built the sport from the ground up, Josh, early champion. Like, what do you guys consider to be what defines a great championship reign in your eyes? Is it the double champ thing? Is it the impact on the division? Is it the just the length of the championship, the reign rather? So here's what DC said. He says, I think the reason we don't have that star is it's hard being a long reigning champion. That's the problem. The game is getting so hard now that Anderson Silva had 11 title defenses. John Jones had 13. Who is doing that anymore? We talked about Sean O'Malley as if he had a great title reign, but he defended the belt one time. Imagine if he did it 7 times. A long title reign is very difficult. It's what's needed to become the real deal. You cannot just be a flash in the pan champion. Unfortunately, Adesanya was a draw because he had the belt for a long time, but since he lost the belt, the number isn't that as great. The reigns aren't as long now. I was talking to some of the guys in the weigh-in show, and not the weighing-in show, just to be clear. What would you consider a great championship reign today? For me, right now, I think defending that belt 3 times, winning a title, defending it 3 times, I think it gets you in the Hall of Fame because it's so hard to hold on to the belt today.
Okay, a couple things. Do you want to start first?
No, go ahead.
Okay, a couple things. It's not so much that it's hard to keep onto a belt as it is difficult now. What it is that we have how we swipe left and right on our phone. We have all the new fighters have ADD. They go right away to I want to challenge for the next title. To them, they look at greatness as having two titles in different weight classes. They don't look at it like they used to back then. That being said, they are able to do it now. Whereas back then, the UFC was not allowing them to do it. There was not like the conversation, sure, there was there. We were always talking about GSP and Anderson Silva. That shit never happened. And there was other fighters that were talking about cross promoting, coming up, coming down. They were like, no, you got to stay in your weight class. Or no, if you go down, you got to stay down. Like there was never this, you can do jump weight classes. It wasn't until Conor came along and they started doing all this. So there was a big difference between that and now. There's that's one thing. Like Volkanovski, to me, I think he established himself as one of the greats. Absolutely one of the greats and a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I don't know how many times he defended it, but it was probably about 5 or 6 times. Did Max Holloway twice.
Fought against Max twice, fought against Ortega, fought against Korean Zombie.
I mean, yeah, he had, I want to say five defenses, maybe more, whatever it was. But regardless, he deserved the reason why he's already wiped through that whole division because Max has wiped through that whole division.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Is that when you're talking about, it used to be for you to get a title shot in another division, you had to go through and clear out your division. So there was nobody left for you to fight that anyone was in the position to say, well, I haven't seen that. Well, they've seen it all. You've actually beaten all those people, and Adesanya was in that position to sit there and to say anything about Adesanya. Look, he's had a great title reign. He's been that guy. Obviously, every fighter, no matter what, is going to hit a certain point where they're not the same fighter. And that happens based upon a significant amount of reasons. One of them being you get older. One of them being the pressure it is to be the champion and to do all of the things that the champion is expected to do, all of the media commitments and everything, all the things that the UFC wants you to go to, that takes days away from your training and all these different things. All of a sudden, it's always easy when you have that target and you go in the gym and you're in the gym in the morning, and then you go and you get your lunch and you get a nap, and then you come back in the gym and you're getting better with every session that you're in there, just a little bit better. When you're not getting better, you're losing. And that's what happens to a lot of the champions is they keep on getting better. They win the championship. But from that point, they're not only not getting better, they're actually starting to drop down a little bit based upon they're not doing the same things. It's, it's the thing I say about Conor. Conor was a tremendous fighter, okay, in the fact that he had everything that you want to talk about as far as he had the gift of gab. He had a look. He had the ability to talk in a way that just captivated people. And he could fight. People talk about his ground game all the time and stuff, and you go, yeah, he didn't win fights on the ground, but it wasn't because he doesn't have a ground game. He lost to Nate Diaz because he was exhausted. Okay. When Conor McGregor starts shooting on Nate Diaz, there's a problem. Okay. But Conor was that guy that he never defended the title. He won the interim title against Chad. And then he wins the undisputed title against Jose Aldo, never defended the title. His first fight off of that is Eddie Alvarez, and he wins the title. And he never defended the lightweight title, never defended either one of them. And that's where you look and you go, you've got to defend the title that you hold on to. And I agree with DC. You've got to defend that title multiple times because it's not easy. That's when you start getting into the Demetrius Johnson, defended the title 10 times. Anderson Silva defended the title, 11 times. John Jones 13 times. That is absolutely amazing. That is crazy.
But Dave, read what the clip was. What is he saying? He's saying, what is defending? What is his headline?
What is the headline? He defines what makes a great UFC champion.
Well, let me start off by saying this. What defines by making a great UFC champion is to never have tested positive for a fucking steroid or for a dick pill or for anything. So automatically that's going to exclude two guys that I hold in very high regard, despite one of them not liking my teammate, is John Jones and Anderson Silva. I'm sorry, but that's something like, let's not pussyfoot around this whole thing. They tested with picograms, doesn't matter. Like, you're saying now it's picograms. Yeah. It means that at some point you were on something. And so that to me, that automatically excludes you from great champion. Now, guys like DJ, guys like GSP, I hold them right up there at the top. Number one, number two, probably.
Take a look at the length of GSP's reign as the welterweight champion.
Yep.
And he went through everybody he could go through. He went through the whole list.
And then he took some time away, came back, and won the 85-pound title.
Yep.
I mean, that's hard to do. How long was he gone? 2 years?
Oh, almost 3, I believe.
Almost 3.
4 years.
4 years.
To almost a day.
4 years.
No. How long was he gone from Hendricks and then when he fought Bisping?
4 years to almost a day.
Okay, 4 years. So if 4 years goes away, comes back and wins the title at a weight class above.
Yep.
There's not much that you can say about GSP and DJ. Those two guys, to say someone is a great champion. And I'm gonna throw BJ in there too, because BJ at lightweight, when he made that run, he was right there. He was a great champion.
You can take a look at Dominic Cruz.
Absolutely.
Great champion.
Absolutely. Gone for 3 years, comes back after knee surgery, and then gets his title back and wins his title. I don't believe in ring rust. I mean, well,
he's not making excuses there.
No.
So
no, he's not. But there's only a handful of those guys that I put into that great championship area, and GSP, I think, to me, being number one, DJ probably being number two. Now, I'm not taking anything away from John Jones and from Anderson Silva, other than the fact that if you want to say you're considered to be a great champion, you can't have tested positive for whether it's a fat burner, whether it's a dick pill, whether it's whatever it is for any type of steroid or peak grant, you can't. I mean, that lets everyone know that there's something there that you're masking, and it's not fair to compare you to people that have not had any issues with USADA or with the athletic commissions or whatever. And any other fight, what other fighters on there, John, could we think of?
Randy Couture.
Absolutely, Randy Couture.
Dude, here's a guy that won the heavyweight title 3 times, won the light heavyweight title 3 times.
Impressive.
Come on.
Super impressive. You know, I mean, there's let me see who else is there.
So females, you get Valentina and Nunes, right? You've got longest title reigns in the women's side. You got DJ. I'm looking at the top 6 list here. Everybody you mentioned, Jose Aldo's on there too.
Jose should be on there. Jose Aldo's definitely on there.
I probably got
Volkanovski's on there.
I probably got GSP 1, DJ number 2. And the only reason why I have it 1 and 2 is because the level of competition that GSP was fighting was a lot harder than the level of competition that DJ was fighting.
Okay.
And that's all. That's because there wasn't as many good guys at 125, you know. And then Jose Aldo, I'd probably put at number 3, you know. And even I'd be okay with interchanging DJ and Jose because Jose's competition was also just as difficult as probably the 170-pound competition. The only reason why I don't have I have BJ in there because it was guys like Joe Daddy Stevenson. It was Kenny Florian, Sean Shirk. Those guys were murderers. Diego Sanchez. They were murderers at that time. Those guys were the cream of the crop at that time when he beat them. And to be honest, he kind of made it look easy. You know, and that was the best that we had ever seen BJ Penn look. He looked good when he was young. People didn't know what to expect. He had the power, he was jiu-jitsu, all those things. But in that era of him winning the lightweight title, he just looked like he was firing on all cylinders. Conditioning, cardio was not a problem like it was in his earlier run. And his flexibility, his jiu-jitsu, his boxing, his power, all that stuff was there.
Go back to your number 1, and that'll tell you everything because that was the guy that gave him problems.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And then, you know, I mean, I'm going to throw Khabib in there somewhere, probably in that like number 5, number 6. But I would only say because he carried himself the way he carried himself, and he was such a dominant fighter throughout his career. It's hard for me to put him at the top because he didn't have a long duration of being a champion. That was one. But I think all the circumstances that surrounded him being the champion definitely had a lot to do with it. But the way he beat guys, the way he dominated guys, you got to put him up there. The way he still to this day has an aura about him that fans really love to be around, love to tune into, love to listen to, love to watch. I mean, you look at almost every video you ever see of him on YouTube or anything, and he's short. It's always gotten hundreds of thousands of views or millions of views because people were tuning in to see what he has to say. So that says something about somebody as well. After they leave a sport, how much are they still talked about? How much are they still researched and looked up? And he's one of those guys that's still very, very active in terms of people looking to see what he's doing. What other guys, John? Can we think
of? Is this man in there with the 4-year reign, 5 title defenses?
Who is it?
Usman, Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, the only thing with Kamaru is he fought the same guys a couple of times.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that's his fault. That's who they put in front of him. So it's the one thing that takes away because you take a look and you go, there were other people in the welterweight division that you looked at and you said, I'd like to see him fight that person, but there was bigger money fights for the UFC. And so, the guy that got, his mouth going, Colby, one of your favorites there, Dave, well, he got to fight him twice based upon it. And, that because it's put butts in seats and I can't blame, the UFC for that, but, it's hard for me to take it away from Kamaru. I do think that Kamaru had a great run. And when I look at some of the fights, his fight, like against Colby, the first one, great fight. I mean, he showed what a dog he was, and both of them were so tough in that fight. And that, he comes out on top of it. His fight with Gilbert Burns, great fight. He ended up, just dismantling a guy that, was a friend, a training partner and everything, but a guy that had power, could hurt him. And he just, went out there and did his job. I could actually say that Kamaru would be one of those guys. He had a great reign as champion.
And I look at these guys and I say, like I always say, the guys that handle themselves professionally, I mean, that's another thing that makes you a great champion. It's the testing portion of it all, the long reign, and how you handle yourself in front of the media's eye. And that's a big deal because you are a walking example for what the kids should, I don't want to say look up to, but the kids kind of like try to get to. Like, hey, if that's the way that this athlete takes care of themselves, that's the way the athlete presents themselves to the public. That's something that I feel makes you a great champion. You know, I can't think, like Randy Couture was that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere. He's always seemed positive. You know, he never had really anything bad to say. I just want to get paid. I want to do this. I want to do that. Jens Pulver, one of those guys as well. Always seemed like a super nice guy. Great guy to be around. We just had him on the show. Just fun, man. And like he said, I'm a super loyal guy. I just want to get paid $5 more than the guy below me. That's it.
Do you know what he was making?
I don't know.
I didn't say
no.
during the thing, and I don't know if I should now.
No, you shouldn't.
Okay.
No, but we just know it wasn't a lot. I mean, you got to think, John. I came after him, and I was only making 2 and 2, 4 and 4, and then 8 and 8.
He was the champion.
Yeah,
and winning against BJ.
Yeah,
he didn't make very much.
That sucks, man. That sucks. You know, but like, where do you put guys like Pat Miletich and Matt Hughes? I put Matt right up there.
Matt's right up there because he had 9 title defenses.
That's insane.
Come on,
that's insane.
Yeah,
you know,
and some of them, you take a look. You know, people don't give him enough credit. He dismantled Sakurai.
Yeah,
he dismantled him. I was like in awe watching because I was a Mock Sakurai fan. I thought he was fantastic, and he just destroyed him.
But Sakurai, he was a chubby 55-pounder, John.
No, he was a chubby 170er. He wasn't chubby. He never fought 150.
No, I know, but I'm saying he could have. He should have.
He fought Anderson Silva at 170.
He was a Kelvin Gastelum before Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah,
he should have been a 55-pounder.
Yes,
he should have. He just loved to eat the rice and the sushi. That was it. I mean, that's kind of where I put these. But let me, like, since DC brought this up, John, where do you put DC on this list?
Well, let's be honest. DC as the light heavyweight champion, who did he defend it against? He lost it. He lost it to John. Okay, because John was coming back, so he that was a fight I did, and he got knocked out by John. So you can take a look. He had 1 title defense as a heavyweight. That was
against Rumble.
No, he won it against Rumble.
He won against Rumble. Title. There was a vacant title that he won against Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
But he beat Rumble twice because I did both of them, in fact.
Yeah, Rumble wrestled the second time. I have no idea why.
Dude, I know. I was like, what are you doing? But as heavyweight, he won the title against Stipe. That was a beautiful win. He ends up defending the title against the Beast, against Lewis, and then he lost it.
Yeah.
So you can take a look and say, well, he went out and defended the title, but he wasn't able to achieve what he's saying is his criteria of 3 title defenses.
Where do you put Cain Velasquez?
Cain's a tough one because Cain was so talented. Everyone knew what he could do. Everyone knew, the thing that was unique about Cain is, and every heavyweight, will sit there and be, if they're honest about it, they'll sit there. What scared me most about Cain wasn't Cain's punching power. It wasn't Cain's wrestling. It was Cain's motor. What Cain could do and maintain that no heavyweight could do. And that was, you could beat Cain for a round, but stand by for the next one because he's going to be revving at that same RPM and you're starting to, your gas tank's getting empty. And you can't keep up with him. And he didn't. How many title defenses did he have? I want to say he had 3. Was it 3? I thought it was 2.
It might have been 2. I thought he was tied for 3 because I don't think any champ had ever tied.
No,
it was 2 because Stipe's got 3.
Yeah. When he won, he won it against Brock.
Yep.
And when he lost it against Dos Santos the first time.
Oh, that's right.
Right, and then he won it against Dos Santos. But I mean. You just look and he lost it against Verdun, but I think he had 2.
2, yeah.
Okay.
So, you look and you go, but is he a guy that you would say is a great champion? Yeah, he was. He was a scary fighter. Not there was nothing about him that you looked at him, he had a big block head. Okay. But body wise, he wasn't this huge muscular guy, anything like that. It wasn't like he was this big monster like a Francis Ngannou or someone like that. He just had a motor, and that motor, I don't care who you were in the heavyweight division, you went, I got to be careful. I'm in trouble.
Do you remember all the drama he got after he was starting to make a run? I think it was after the Nogueira fight, and he did the whole three for for
because of the Brown Pride
Arizona State,
thing.
and then he had the Brown Pride tattoo, and then he did the Arizona State 3-prong thing, the pitchfork, and everyone's like, oh, he's gang related, he's throwing up gang signs, and I'm like, oh my
dude's
God.
The farthest thing from gang related as there is.
Man, this is ridiculous. What if I had a white pride tattoo? I'm like, well, you don't though, dummy. Yeah. So just shut the hell. It was just it was embarrassing at times. I felt bad for him because he had to answer a lot of questions in the media, like, what about your tattoo? And
it's a tattoo. Man,
it's a tattoo, man. I mean, anyways, but yeah, I put him right up there because he was somebody that no matter what, if a little 2-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old came up and was like, he was the nicest guy, always, and very quiet, but always loved signing. He'd stop and he'd stand there forever and sign autographs for everyone. So, absolute great guy. What else you got for us there, Dave?
All right, let's look at this last one here. Get your opinion on this. BKFC. Comes out and says Conor McGregor will 100% fight bare knuckle and will make more money than anywhere else. What do you think about both those comments? Do you want to see it? Who do you think it is? How do you think it goes? And then is it really?
I'm being honest. I would actually rather see Conor McGregor fight bare knuckle than I'd rather see him fight MMA now.
Absolutely.
I would love to see Conor McGregor fight. And I think he would do very well at it.
Oh, really?
I do. In the stand-up, because he has certain attributes that he uses, I think he actually would do really well with it. I could absolutely be wrong, but I do think he would make a lot of money at it, not being based upon his fighter pay. He's got equity in that company, and so how that company does is how he does.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think if because he's got equity in the company and then he does fight, he'll get paid a fighter purse, and then he'll also get a percentage of his equity, whatever that comes in. So whatever sponsors come in, he's going to get that percentage also.
And he's still, no matter what anyone wants to say, he brings butts. Yep. He brings eyeballs. People want to see him. He is still, I don't want to say, the most talked about fighter, but one of the most talked about fighters in combat sports there is. People just, that's all I hear. What about Conor McGregor? What about Conor McGregor? All the time.
I think if Khabib came back, that he would do numbers higher than Conor. Right now. Not numbers higher than what Conor did before. I'm just saying because the pay-per-view times have changed.
Yeah, you're saying comparatively now, if one did a pay-per-view against someone, and
more people would want to tune in to watch Khabib make a return than to watch Conor make his return.
It'd be close.
I'm not being a homer. I just think because he's 29-0 versus what's been going on with Conor as of lately. They're like, I'd rather see the guy who beat Conor and then retired at 29-0. I want to see that guy make his comeback and see if he still is dominant, if someone's going to beat him. They'd want to see that more. I mean, how much do you think Dana would pay for Khabib to come back? Let's be honest. 30 million?
Excuse me, what'd you say?
30 million?
Yeah, 20, somewhere in the 25 million.
25 million?
Yeah.
I think he would. Who do you think if you're Dana White, who would be the ideal matchup for him? Because you really don't want him to lose.
Well, you can't.
It might be a number 2.
Obviously,
a second fight.
Obviously, you can't put him against the champ because they're not going to fight.
No.
And so I honestly think you would put him in against a 170 pounder.
Yeah, because I don't know if he can make 55 anymore.
Yeah. And so I would start looking at the 170 pound list, and in looking at that list, who is a guy that I would say I want to have Khabib fight against? Well, it'd probably be someone that was a champion. Now, I don't think Khabib would actually fight Bilal.
No,
He
he
wouldn't.
wouldn't fight Usman either.
No. Okay, that one I wasn't too sure about.
Kamaru Usman, though.
Because I think Kamaru would. I know they're managed by Ali, both of them, and stuff like that. But I actually think Kamaru would fight him.
No, you think maybe he would?
Out of respect. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting you because out of respect. I want to fight you because of who you are. Yeah.
What about Shavkat?
No.
Nah, he's just not enough. There's not enough there. We haven't seen a big enough sample size.
Not yet. Yeah, I see. And that's nothing against Shavkat. He's great, but he hasn't won the title or anything like that. So,
but he's 17-0, 18-0, 18-0 versus 29-0.
There you go. Someone's always got to go.
You've got something. Someone's always got to go, and you got something there. You got the tall, long, lanky guy versus the former, 155.
Shavkat can look at as good as Shavkat is. If he gets taken down, he ain't getting up unless Khabib wants him to get up so he can mat return him again.
Well, let's be honest. Bilal already said, "I go with Khabib now."
He's ordering coffee.
Yeah, he's ordering coffee while he's smashing me. And he's the champ at 170, John. He's the champ.
I know.
So
again, here's the difference, though. And you've experienced it, so you know. And I will say I've experienced it with other people. There's levels, and people have no concept of what that person's level is like. They all think that, I would do this and I would do that. And it's like, you don't have a fucking clue. His level is so far above everyone else's when it comes to that specific area. I tell you, you want to know what I would love to see? I'd love to see him and Bo Nickel. Just grapple.
Oh, grappling wise.
Just grappling. Yeah. Because they're close to the same weight right now.
Yeah, I wonder if Bo could get up off of his back.
Yeah.
We're
gonna see.
I'm playing. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think I'd be definitely Bo's a big boy.
Yeah.
Bo's a big boy,
and he's a phenomenal wrestler.
He can fucking wrestle, man. That guy's just another level of wrestling. So
yep.
But yeah, I look at the 170-pound division, man. I mean, I don't really see anybody that could give Khabib a hard time. I mean, Shavkat, only based on the fact I haven't seen a big enough sample size, and the body frame would give him a little bit of an issue. But once the fight hit the ground, I think Khabib would dominate the position from the top. And then outside of that, man, Sean Brady's always very interesting to me because he can grapple, and he can wrestle. And his stand-up is pretty good. He's conditioning, obviously.
Stand-up is damn good.
After he's fixed his conditioning. You hear that, Sean? You hear that, Sean? You fixed your conditioning?
You fixed it.
It is all right, hey, Dave. What do we have anything from anyone there? Any questions?
Yep.
Let's go through a couple of the questions and then we'll give this a wrap.
Yep. YTB99 asks thoughts on the 35 plus curse. Below MW middleweight, the record for fighters aged 35 plus is about 30-3. Tyron Woodley had 2, and Bilal just got the other. Tyron Woodley proceeded to lose 5 in a row and slipped by Jake. Yeah, that's your question.
So wait, at 170, you said?
No, I think he's going from 170 down.
Middleweight down.
Middleweight.
That's where all the talent is. That's where guys are fast. Look, John, sayings like speed kills, they stick around because they're true. We talk about people say those sayings because they're true. Like once your speed goes in a young man's sport like this, it's becoming a young man's sport. The upper weight classes, the older guys can get away with it because they were never fast to begin with. That's one, but the power's there, and that's the last thing to live. That's the last thing to go. 170 and below. Guys like Izzy have speed at 185. Other guys, they have some speed there, but they're few and far between. The guys at 170 and below have speed plus athleticism and strength. 55 is speed, athleticism, a little bit of strength. 45, 35, 25 is just straight speed and athleticism. Some have some strength, but not really, not the level. It's more like two ferrets getting after it, on the feet and on the ground. There's a lot of skill involved in all those weight classes. 85 and above, don't get me wrong, they're talented, they're good, but let's just be honest. As you can have a longer career in those weight classes because they're not as fast. You don't have to worry about punches coming from angles at a fast pace that you're not used to seeing because they're not as fast. They don't get there as fast. And so the 35-year-old thing is based on the fact that the speed is gone. The younger generation has the speed, and that's what touches your chin, and that's what gets you out of there. Once you start getting knocked out, you can't make a comeback against those guys. It's too much.
I agree. It's a matter of, you take a look at when, when you start to get older, the first thing that leaves people is speed. Yeah. Hand speed, foot speed, the ability to see things and react to them. It just, you become, and it's not huge amounts of difference. It's just this little tiny bit that instead of moving your head off the center line completely so the punch just goes by and touches your ear, now it hits you straight here, and it jolts you, and you just absorbed a shot that you never would have absorbed before. You saw everything the same. It's just your reaction is slower, and it's part of playing the game from, and I'll even go 185 down, because there's some guys at 185 that are fast, but 170 to 125, there's a lot of speed. You take a look at some of these guys, and they're so, fluid in everything they do, that if you don't have speed, now you've got to make it up somewhere else. And if you've counted on that speed to get you where you need to be at times, and now it's not working for you, it's hard to readjust and, change your game. It's not an easy thing to do. So that's why you see that huge discrepancy of why, when they reach a certain age and they're in the lower weights, the wins start to go away at the top level.
John, I'm looking at 185, man. You got one dude that's fast. You got Izzy, Sean Strickland, Dricus Duplessis. You got Whitaker. You got Imavov. I think he's.
Whitaker is not.
He's not fast. That's what I'm saying. He's not fast.
No, he's not slow.
But he's not fast.
He's not slow.
I don't put him in the fast category either. So let's just say he's in the middle. He's on idle.
Okay.
But Imavov's got a little bit of speed. Kai Bahalo, he's got a little bit of speed.
Kai Bahalo's
explosiveness.
Got speed.
Vittori not fast. Cannonier not fast. Brennan Allen's not fast. Paulo Costa's explosive, but in short bursts.
Paulo Costa is fast.
Yeah, okay, I'll give it to you.
He's fast.
Also, you got Dalitsi, Hermanson, Chimaev. He's got some speed.
Fast.
Hernandez and Pajea. So you got 4 people in the whole top 15.
There's some speed there.
That's not a lot, John.
There's some speed there.
All right. What else you got for us, Dave?
Yep, we'll wrap up there.
All right, guys. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in for our live. Go to weightinmerch.com, weightinmerch.com. Pick out some of our gear and our clothing and our apparel. We got hoodies. Check it all out. Look at John with his shirt on. But we got apparel over there. The cold weather is rolling in, man. It was 88 degrees today.
It was 93 here.
I was freezing at 88 degrees. I was like, oh man, it's supposed to be in like the low 80s this next couple days here.
Yeah, but that's because there's the hurricanes coming.
Yeah, whatever. That's so far away. It's like 10 hours away from
storms are rolling.
Texas is a big state, John. I don't know if you know it, but take a look at a map one day. You'll figure it out. But hey, we want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this live, and make sure you guys go to OnlyFans. Pick us up. Subscribe to us over there at the OnlyFans.
Pick us up, please.
OnlyFans. Subscribe to us over there. It is free. And also to remind you guys, this is brought to you by BetUS. Use the promo code YouTube150. YouTube150 for us, and check it out, man. We're having some good time. The great odds. We gave you Wayne on the odds on this show, so check that out, and hopefully you guys put some money down, man. Check it out. YouTube 150 at BetUS.
Last thing before we leave, Element is a delicious drink that you guys need to have on hand, especially since it is still hot out there. Stay salty, my friends, and we will see you